Alright, welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well and not talking back to the invisible guy that's talking on the video. These are some of the snow white albino breeders, and the plant is the thin leaf water sprite. I'm going to have to cull the plant some more. You can see a lot of new growth in the plant, and I'll be doing that probably with the next water change, which will probably be tomorrow. But what I thought I'd talk about on this video, besides a lot of rambling, is selecting female breeders. So as you can notice with this selection of females here, they are all pretty much the same. There's very little variation, if there's any variation, and try to select for nice squat thick body on them and kind of a full color in the tail. I don't use any that I don't really get any that get spots in the tail, but I would say if you have a line of fish and you're trying to get it set, try not to use females with spots or variations of color in the tail, because in most cases that can translate over to the fry and the males and kind of screw up the line. It varies. There are some other lines of fish where you may have two different color tails in the female. It's kind of rare, but it does happen. But for the most part, you'll notice that with all these fish, they have, all the females, they have full color in the tails. It's obviously a white color. Same with the dorsal. The dorsal on all of them are shaped the same. They're going after some live baby brine shrimp, which gets them all out in the open. So they're in a 10-gallon tank, and as you can see, there's ton of the water sprite in there, so I gotta thin that out. So I will pull the females when they appear to square off, meaning they get even larger than this one, and then the front starts to square off. That kind of means they're about to have fry. Like this one probably just had fry within the last week or so, so nothing's going to happen there. That one, same thing. It's going to have to fill up for a while. But like this one won't be too far off. Probably, there's another one right in front of my face. I think it was this one. It won't be too far off. So once that front part of the body squares off, then I will pull her, put her in either a 2.5-gallon tank with plants, or one of the 1-gallon high jars with water sprite at the top and some java moss at the bottom. I'm kind of working on a sponge filter that I can use in those 1-gallon jars. I'll probably do a video on that pretty soon when I get around to it. But back to the females. Like I said, there aren't variations with these, and if I did get one that was slightly different, like in a prior video I briefly had in a female that had like a kind of a split dorsal, which wasn't really a split dorsal. It was apparently a characteristic of the one of those varieties, not the ribbon, but maybe it's the Mera or Umbrella or something. But I moved her out. Any fry I got from her was removed and grown out separately, and there was no problems with those fry. But for aesthetic purposes, I took her out of the colony and moved her into her own tank, and that's where she still is. So far so good. But anyway, these are the main breeders of these snow white albinos. I have one other tank that I can kind of show, but unfortunately right now I have green water in there again, which is annoying. I did another water change on it tonight. Took the sponge filter out and squished everything out of it. And I used a Jungle, although I don't know who owns them now, No More Algae tablet. One of those fizzy Alka-Seltzer looking things. So how can you tell if you're looking at a dogwood tree? From the bark. From the bark. Yeah, it's a terrible joke. Absolutely terrible joke. So, alright, I'll try to switch over to the other tank. And I will mention I did watch some more bad Mystery Science Theater movies. Kitten with a Whip, which was totally off the wall weird. Probably would never get made today. For a number of reasons. Anne Margaret was the kitten with a whip, who was actually a juvenile delinquent that kind of blackmailed a senator. So there we go. It probably happens every day still, but really not going to make movies about that anymore. Also, if you get a chance, try to watch Horrors of Spider Island. That was another one from the 60s, a lot of bikini babes, and a guy who turns into a spider creep. Kind of looks like a guy wearing fur and kind of kills people. Really terrible. And the other one I might have mentioned in the last video, hey, there's a baby in there that lived. How do you like that? Another Mystery Science Theater one, Time of the Apes, which was a Japanese, kind of like a rip-off thing of Planet of the Apes, made in the, I think it was made in the 70s. And it's pretty terrible. It made no sense. It was, of course, dubbed into English, which actually made it funny. And I think it was like a TV show or something, and they cobbled enough together to make a movie, or maybe it was like a cereal, not the kind you eat, the kind you watch. So if you get to see that, that's pretty terrible, but I'll warn you ahead of time, that took 3 viewings to get through the whole movie. I think I got through 30 minutes at a time and just had to really give up. So, alright, let me get over to the tank you won't be able to see much of. These are the black lace snakeskins, as I'm calling them. They're developing fantastically. A lot of glare, sorry about that. These are the albino ones. I do have some albino fry in there, which is great. That means I'll be able to sell probably a couple trios of these, and that's it. Same with these. I have a lot of fry, so I'll sell a couple trios soon. And that line, this line is pretty much set now, which is great. But this is the greenish tank. Now I've been pulling some breeders from here. Got really nice males in here as well. You're only going to be able to see the ones that are in the front of the tank because it's too green. It's like the breeding ground of the Incredible Hulk. But these are 6 to 7 months old, and I don't know how many females I have in here. It's one of them. There are some fry, there are plants up top. There's a couple of fry I have to take out shortly, which I'll do after I film this video, which is probably going to drive me crazy because it's green water. I kind of hate having to show that. It's kind of what happens keeping plants in the tank. Sometimes there's like I guess an overabundance of nutrients and it turns the water green. The only problem with that for these guys is I can't see, like this one I would pull out because I see a little bit of yellow at the base of the tail. So he's got to come out. Now sometimes that develops late with this line, but this one's fine. Most of them are fine. It just happens to a few of them. And they still look great. It's just I want snow white albinos because they're snow white albinos. So sometimes these females will develop a little bit of a hooked anal fin. I don't know what that's all about. Normally I would say it's part of the ribbon fin, but I don't think so. Because the Allen Baez sword tails that I have, the lower swords, those females have a real pronounced hooked anal fin, and they're not ribbon in any way. So anyway, it's a little hard to see this, so I'll move on to the tank you could see. And what kind of things do cows like to read? Catalogs. Jeez, that's beyond awful. That's a terrible joke. So it's a shame the tank's not clear. You could actually see what they look like. See if I can get focus on one of the males. So this isn't quite the black metal lace that you've seen for sale over in Asia. This is just a black lace snakeskin. Like I said before, I don't know if it's got enough of the snakeskin pattern in the body to qualify for the IFGA snakeskin, and doesn't really matter because I'm not showing them and there are no shows. So between those two things, it doesn't matter at all. It's just the way it goes. Things are weird right now. So anyway, here's the rest of the other ones. I do have 2 more tanks of these downstairs. This is the super secret fish room. It's actually the computer room. And as you can see, these females are looking really good. And I am getting fry out of them. I do have the marbles in the back as well. I really need more marbles. I've lost my marbles, as everybody knows. And I will get some more. Now, I thought they'd be able to hide at the base of that loose star filter, but the adults go right in there somehow and get them. So that's why I put in the marbles. That's why there's more plants. And I do have a lot of fry growing out from them. I think I have 3 drops at this point growing out. So I'll use these breeders for another couple of months, and then I will move on to the next generation as they grow out and continue things on. And that roundabout way to say this is why you want to pick very similar looking females, if not identical looking ones, so that the line doesn't change. Same with the males, of course, but you do have to give attention to the females as well. And you want to fatten them up. Like I've said in many videos, I use a feeding of live brine shrimp once a day, which they're eating now, and normally a feeding of my high protein food that I mix up, and the flake foods I mix up, which, you know, you can buy flake foods from anybody, mix them up. There's a number of places to sell them. I also sell the flake food on eBay and Aquabid. I have a ultimate veggie one, which has about 5 kinds of vegetable flake in it, and an ultimate meat one, which has, I think I'm putting in 4 or 5 kinds of meat-based flakes and an egg flake. So the high protein food is not flake at all. It's like a crumble and a fine powder. I'm also going to start making a limited amount of fry food of the high protein one, and that's just similar food, but some of it's going to be ground down some more, so it's not powdery but very fine and easy for the fry to eat without a problem, fry of any age. So I'll probably finish some of those jars up this week. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with the bad jokes. And I'll be back in a few days with another video. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments or send me an email. I'll put the email in the video description. And thank you again for watching, and stay safe.